calls it forth. With the city's questing beasts slain and the rift of Merlin finally awake, Vince Beaumont was ready to wage war against the Crimson King, his lifelong sworn enemy. Defying the odds, the team successfully knighted Beaumont and cured Ami of her dolorous stroke, preventing an all-out war between the two crime lords. But there were still some missing answers to dethrone Corbin Payne. What power does the Grail hold? Who is Vince's daughter, Rio Beaumont? And what answers can she provide to understand the man who was the city, purveyor of misery, Corbin Payne? Can he be healed? Or should he be taken down once and for all? The days in the city are getting longer, hotter, and misery invades every single day. But as the sun sets on another miserable evening, the scene fades to black.
The sky is gray, times are changing. This is the end of everything, but it's hard to say goodbye. In my dreams, we were meant to be, but everything feels wrong. Just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel right. Just doesn't feel
Good evening and welcome to TPK Roleplay for the final episode of Madness Calls It Forth, our City of Mist campaign based on the Knights of Paynetown. Before we begin, this is a content warning. Knights of Paynetown is a dark, noir-style campaign written by Son of Oak Game Studio and deals with issues like violence, emotional trauma, death, suicide, among other disturbing themes. And as is the nature with the campaign with stories, the campaign has historical, religious, and contemporary allusions that some viewers might find disturbing. Please know that those of us around the virtual table have given our consent to explore these topics together as respectfully as we can. But if you, the viewer, at any time should feel uncomfortable, be sure to step away, get some air, stretch your legs, and join us again later. For more information on mental health services available to you, use !get help in the chat. Tonight's episode is Percival. Last episode was pretty exciting, I'm sure. And it's not been very long. About a week has passed at most. And you've all had some time to prepare for your next activity, and we're taking the downtime. What have you been up to since the revelations of last episode? Luca, if you want to go first.
I feel like I have just been working with the team to try and find Rio. I feel like it's only been a week. I now have Cirrus as my knight, and I seem to have other stuff going on too. I feel like I've literally just been kind of stepping into that role. I haven't been working on Secret Pain or anything like that.
Okay. So, one more time. The role of what?
Queen of the Round Table?
Okay, cool. What does that mean to Celine to be? At this point, you have lost your theme card, which was your wealthy and dysfunctional family. What does it mean to Celine that she's lost basically the strongest connection she had to this city thus far?
I mean, it was a strong connection in terms of like she has stability and like could.
But you are no longer part of like the Caliburn
Yeah.
empire.
Well, I mean, I am the Caliburn Empire now, but it's no longer like old names that go back and strike fear into the hearts of whatever. It's more just now I am making it my own and very much found family now. I've got our little crew, and now I'm finding knights, and it's basically just knock down the old empire and build up a new one.
Cool. Is there anything mechanically you're doing as part of your downtime? Is it just...
I don't know how it would work mechanically, but just trying to find my new role and everything.
That kind of, some of the things you said about like specifically looking for Rio sounds like it might be preparing for the next thing.
activity?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the pins if you want to look up what that means, but
Okay.
we'll move on to Ami next.
Yeah. So Ami was definitely preparing for the next event by continuing to practice with her new weapon, which changed a bit.
Would you like to go over that? You are no longer evil, evidently.
This is true. Instead is now the caduceus staff. So it is two snakes intertwined, and has a very different look, but is still kind of just a big stick.
Does it have any other specific powers that you've changed?
Yeah, it has some. It's indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a tag called recognizes people for who they really are.
I like that one. Oh, there's one last tag I
And
think
that
that you
all came-
have that I was like, I'm going to mess with you if you try to use this tag.
Yeah, from death to life. Essentially, according to the mythos of Mercury, his staff could bring people back to life. So,
As Vermin's face can attest, I will definitely mess with you if you attempt to use that one. But
Absolutely.
speaking of which, so mechanically, which activity you were preparing for the next one?
preparing for the next activity. Yep.
Remind me what that gives you, either Celine or Ami.
I think it's juice, right?
That
You
sounds
can
right.
either fix a burnt power tag or get 3 juice, it looks like.
Lovely. So, up to you which one you want to do, but if you use juice, you get juice related to the activity you did during downtime.
I will take the juice, please.
Pocket juice, lovely. Ami? This is the last episode, you might as well just take the juice because that's
Same.
dramatically
Yep.
more interesting. Lexi,
Yeah.
what have you been up to?
I've been doing the last few things I need to do in order to have no regrets should I die on this final mission.
I guess that's valid.
I think what that looks like is it was, I think, quite a few episodes ago. But Graham got kind of involved with the old family business. So one of the things that we see Lexi doing is going to like a rundown diner and meeting up with somebody who we haven't seen, which is her brother, and basically telling him like, I am not even going to I'm not going to mince my words here, you are never going to come near me or my son again. And if you do, I will find ways you can't even understand to make it hurt. So back off, give us space. We are done with you. And then I think the other thing that she does is she goes to see Mr. Otelia and have like a kind of quieter conversation with him where she says like, look, you have a son. And if something happens to me, I want to make sure that he is looked after. You don't have to intervene directly, but like, know that you're on the hook for this. And that's kind of it. And that's her healing the last of her secret pain.
So you now currently have healed 6 and
wounded
0.
nothing.
Do you want to explain what that final, like, what that means to Lexi? To realize, like, let's go over what was your secret pain, and what does it mean that now she is over it? Or at least come to terms with it.
Do you have the wording handy of what it was?
I think it's in our chat if you want to. It should be pinned, I think. But I believe it was about Graham. It at one point it was, have I led my son down the path to destruction, or is it already too late? And I think you tweaked it just a little bit.
Yeah, I tweaked it to be less specifically about Graham, but like, am I ever going to be able to atone for like all of the bad things that I did before I had Graham? I think
does Lexi think that she has?
She realized that like it's going to mean the rest of her life doing things as best she can to help as many people as she can and to prevent hurt to as many people as she can.
Okay.
And there's no like, she doesn't have to beg to John for forgiveness because that's not going to help anybody else. But if he ever needs her, she's there. If Ami needs her, she's there. If Celine needs her, she's there. She doesn't have to doubt herself going into those situations and making it worse. She's just like ready to do the help that she can.
Speaking of making things worse, but I'm just kidding, joking.
Oh no.
Job, what has Father John been up to?
So in the week that he's had, he's gone to the church just to kind of like settle some affairs and basically have it like, has like an envelope set in case he doesn't return with a final message in it. I think he wants to go check on Martha, but he's afraid to. So I think he leaves a note for her as well. And then he will go and possibly for the last time visit the grave of his wife and daughter. And just kind of, stand there for a bit before just kind of talking and saying, hey, it's been a bit since I came by. Found out a lot of things and doing a lot of things, and I never thought things could get weirder than they did, but I was completely wrong. I know you'd probably be laughing along too if you. I mean, hell, you probably do see what's going on. So I hope you're at least smiling with how crazy everything is. But I'm never tried to say that I was a perfect man. God knows I ain't. But I'm hoping that I can at least do something meaningful in a way that, I don't know, in your honor. Because God knows I could have done some pretty horrible shit with the things I found out about, but maybe doing a little good instead might make up for those dark thoughts that still are back there. But
Mecha-
who knows? Maybe I'll see you again soon.
Mechanically, this sounds like you were working on your secret pain. Is that correct?
It is.
Does this bring you down to 0 or to 1?
This brings me to 1,
Okay.
which I think is appropriate for
That's appropriate.
John.
Tell me, what kind of note are you leaving for Martha?
Basically saying, when we spoke last, I mentioned that you had a choice, and I left you that little vial. I regret to not know what choice you made, but I know in my heart of hearts that you made the right one, regardless which choice you took.
Interesting.
And either way, I'm proud of you. And I hope you have a good life.
Okay. We'll hold on to that one. Before we move on, I have one more scene that I need to present. This one is just for Lexi. Lexi, you recently received a note. It is from a anonymous source, but you can tell it's very official. And whoever it is means business. They would like to meet you privately, and their note says that they believe you would be the kind of person who will do what must be done. Where do you go to meet this individual?
I think Lexi has them show up. The Mirror isn't like the only bar in the docks. There's one that is like much closer to the port authority, and it's where a lot of both people coming in on barges and like dock workers go to drink.
Mm-hmm.
It's busier than the Mirror. It's louder and rougher, but it has a few quiet booths where you can blend into the walls for a little bit.
Okay. It takes a little while before someone arrives, and you know it's them immediately, because they kind of stand out from the rest of the crowd. But a tall, very thin man in a large, dark trench coat arrives. His hair is white and is tied tightly into a ponytail behind him. With an air of mystery, this man seems well trained, precise, and very obviously deadly if pushed the wrong way. You catch glimpses of tools of his trade underneath his jacket. You don't recognize most of them. He pulls out a cigarette and lights it, takes a few drags from it before looking around the bar, waiting for you. Are you blending into the background moment right now?
I think it's hard for Lexi not to, but she will just like slide up and then after he's finished lighting his cigarette, tilt one towards him for him to light.
Oh, I thank you. I'm glad you came.
Get on with it.
We've been watching you, and I think you, of all of your friends, know what must be done. I don't think I need to explain myself. I think you know exactly who I'm referring to and what I'm referring to.
Why do you think so?
The rest of your merry band of players seems disinterested in what must be done, and he has run this city for far too long. There's no excuse for what he has done. He must be taken down. You understand?
What happens afterwards?
The city goes back to a new normal. Less misery. There will still be the powerful and the rich, especially among the powerful rifts in the city. And our organization will still run in the shadows. But you can be assured that we have your back if you choose to take him down. With that, he sits down at one of the tables and asks that you join him as he brings out a suitcase up onto the table. He unlatches it, and inside it looks like just a bank of cigarette smoke is drifting from inside the suitcase. Obviously, he is a man with quite a lot of power. And the grail that he holds, well, it is the source of how he has lived for so long. Without it, he cannot be born again. He cannot be revived from the dead. And so, this should help. He reaches into the suitcase, and what looked like just a pool of fog quickly shifts into what looks like a cloak. It's thin and almost iridescent, and when it shifts, it looks like smoke, but it can be held in two hands. How much do you know about Greek mythology, Lexi?
I think I slept through most of that.
Well, then let me educate you. There is a place called Tartarus, something where the most wicked and vile can never escape. It is somewhere deep within the mist, and Thorin Penitentiary lives deep within the mist there. Using this is the Cloak of Mananan, will instantly transport anything caught inside to Tartarus, never to be seen again. Without the Grail, he can no longer live, again and again. And so we're hoping you can use this to even the playing field.
I have one question for you before we talk about if I do this. What is the Grail? 2 questions. Who does it serve?
What is the Grail? It is as much a being of power as anyone here. It is a relic of the mist that has the power to awaken someone. You understand the people around this city that are controlled by the mist, they sleep. And to awaken them with the water of the Grail means awakening them to their mythological power. In the hands of Corbin Payne, it brings him back. It keeps him alive so he can continue to suffer over and over and over.
Well, I think I've heard enough. And
You
Lexi
should know
will...
one thing before you go, Lexi. In order to capture the Grail, you will need to activate it. I cannot say what that takes, but you will need to have some control over it before you can bring it down.
I think you misunderstood the interaction here. She pushes the cloak back towards the case, and she stands as tall as to her full height, and the image of Grendel's mother appears behind her, and that tracer-like look on her eyes comes back.
I've seen much scarier beings than you, Lexi. Believe me.
You misunderstand. I'm not here to play jailer. for some hopped up organization sitting in the shadows. If you think we're here to do anything but topple people like you and him, you're mistaken.
Then what do you intend?
I intend to fix things. And I intend to do it with people who know what's right, helping guide my hand. Not some, she spits. Not some spook who tells me what's good for God and country. Keep an eye out. This isn't a city for gods anymore. And she walks out.
He closes the suitcase with a click. Snuffs out his cigarette and walks away into the mist. And as if he was never there, the people in the bar continue on. Now I leave this up to you. What do you want to do?
Are you talking to all of us, or
Yeah.
just Lexi?
Literally any of you.
Oh, okay.
This is me saying, I don't have a plan. Take it away, kids.
What's been my success rate with finding Rio? And is anyone working with me on that?
John could help with that.
I mean, Ami
Okay.
would definitely be help. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
I
we
think
can all
It's
be
probably
back.
just a group decision or group
Do we-
effort.
What? Albion dissipated,
Correct.
right? Okay, so can we be back at the mirror? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, why not?
Well, Lexi is off having her clandestine meeting.
Or not.
or whatever, we can get the mirror working
Yeah.
away on finding Rio. How would I go about using my juice to do that?
So juice is used like power tags to give you a story tag. You would look in Change the Game as one of your core moves. That's how you use juice. And then every one on top of that can increase it. So it helps you in making a roll. If you're looking to investigate something, I would recommend using it in some way that helps your investigation.
Okay, can you remind me our various leads that we got that I would be following to investigate this?
Yes.
So I know how to.
I can say that you still are in contact in some way with. Thank you for 96 viewers.
Oh,
Welcome to Madness Calls It Forth. You know that Vince Beaumont has. Vince Beaumont is part of your round table now. And so you know that in his story that he has told you, the reason that he has sworn Corbin Payne as his enemy is because he believes that Corbin Payne is the reason that his daughter has gone missing. Or had gone missing, because it was quite a long time ago. If she were alive today, she'd be well into her 90s. And so where Rio is a bit of a mystery, but you've gotten several clues already about it. As far back as episode 1.
All right. Mechanically, how would I go about using my juice to investigate, follow up on those clues that we've received?
So you would tell me how you want to investigate, and then we could come up with a tier 3 tag that could help you do it.
Jam, I would like to investigate by allowing my player knowledge to tell me what clues.
God damn
I'm
it, get
missing.
into the narrative, Luca.
Yeah.
Table, feel free to suggest things if you
gonna-
have any ideas.
My 40-something old dame is gonna walk over to Ami in full boomer style, and lend help to her so she can investigate. Basically, just pointing at the laptop and just being like, "Is there something we can do to try and track down the daughter? I feel like I'm missing something."
Yeah. So Ami will kind of start punching some things into the computer. Ultimately, what she's going to try to do is identify some of the common denominators in the situations that have been happening and how we keep hearing about Rio, and see if we can narrow down a location.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I need to look up some Rio information for you.
While it's searching, I'm just gonna lean down on me. Should we tell Lexi that she needs to update the Wi-Fi here? Is that something that we can do? That's the thing, right? We update the Wi-Fi. It gets like bigger Wi-Fi.
Bigger's an interesting choice of word. But do I think Lexi will do what we suggest? Maybe if it comes from you. I don't know that Lexi will listen to me.
Lexi from the back rooms. I already got a wife.
Yeah, I will
And at that
absolutely
comment
blush and chuckle at that.
Yeah, and Ami will close her eyes and just nod.
I don't know why you can't keep using the Indian store next to us. Their Wi-Fi's fine. Just keep using that.
I'm using the Wi-Fi connection the FBI is watching.
Oh, nice.
Having made such a terrible joke, I will absolutely wander back over to you, Lexi, and give you just a little kiss on the cheek and roll my eyes at your terrible joke.
Lexi will turn serious the moment after and be like, "I'm not fixing the Wi-Fi. It's good enough."
I'll just turn my hotspot on my phone. I already pay the biggest I can for data. I barely use it, so I might as well just use it now.
Okay, so I don't really know what your change the game here is supposed to be, but it sounds like you are bonding as a team to find information together. So feel free to roll to investigate using a +3 tag from your juice.
Man, it's almost like I'm using some sort of rallying power that might be new or something from my new mythos.
Is it? Is that true?
Yeah.
Is Ami also allowed to use her own tags, or are we only using juice for assistance?
You can only one of you can roll, so it has to be one of you.
Ami, you go ahead and roll. And
I believe, Ami,
I've
you
got
did,
a help for you.
You were getting
so.
juice from your relic, not from investigation, right? Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So, roll Celine to investigate.
Me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do power tags for this because it's juice.
No, you can if you have ones that are relevant.
Yeah, juice is just like a bonus, right?
Okay.
Technically, in the rules, juice is what you use to create a story tag that helps you with the roll.
I don't know if you saw this in the chat, Luca, but I feel like we met Ariadne like a while back. And like we could just get a little bit of thread from Ariadne to follow, right?
We could totally do that. That's a good idea.
Maybe that's what the juice becomes. Ariadne's threads.
If you want to investigate
Threads
by
of
reaching,
fate.
If you want to investigate by reaching out to Ariadne, totally.
She's like a spider lady, right?
Yeah.
Only slightly terrifying.
It's fine. She's a nice spider lady.
I've got to figure out where the heck her thing is.
Okay. Yeah, so let me put that in really quick.
Oh, sorry, she's not the spider lady. I'm thinking of somebody else. Ariadne is the one who can navigate the labyrinth.
You are thinking of...
Wait.
Arak something?
Ariadne, something like that?
Yeah, maybe. I think she got turned into a spider.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because that's where arachnid comes from.
I got a 9. The GM must give me a straight answer to a relevant question that I ask about the subject of the investigation. However, the investigation could either expose me to danger or the clues I get are...
How many power tags do you end up using?
2.
Okay. You have 2 questions you can ask Ariadne. First off, I'm gonna ask you to narrate this. Where do you find Ariadne's red string this time?
Do we still have did we get rid of that scarf, or did it just not come up again after that episode?
I believe you did not use it. But the red scarf is actually, I believe, to find your way out of a situation.
Ah. Okay.
What if, since Ami is doing the searching, we keep getting little pop-up ads of like a little cat batting a ball of yarn, and it's red, and it's the string goes across the thing, and then it'll like the pop-up will go away until finally it's like, wait, click on that.
Okay. When you click on this this red string ad, it brings you to a chat room. Encrypted as all to hell, as far as Ami can tell, and the very first message at the very top of the screen is Ariadne : you called.
I'm gonna. Oh, it worked. And look around.
Oh shit!
What do
It's
we
doing
wanna-
something.
ASL. I'm gonna look around and just look at the crew and just, what are we wanting to ask here?
I legitimately thought that Celine didn't know what AOL was.
No, then it slowly dawned on me what ASL
Showing
means.
my actual age.
Yeah. It's fine. Omegle still exists.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Ariadne.
Yeah. I'm gonna look around at you guys and just. Okay. We're trying to find Rio. What should we ask?
Maybe we should ask something like, how could we bring her to us? She's been reaching out. How do we reach out back?
Okay. Ami, type. How do we make ourselves found? GM, that's one of my questions for you.
Okay. How do you
Like,
make
how do we make
found?
ourselves found by Rio? Like, she
Yep.
keeps reaching out to us. How do we make ourselves, like, where do we go? What do we do to make it so that it's not just like little reaching out, but like
Celine is there as patiently waiting as the 3 dots keep ticking along as Ariadne responds. And she first says, "Now that is a very interesting question. The one you seek is incredibly difficult to find. She has been lost to the mist. However, you have a deep connection with her. And I do believe that you have awoken to certain powers that might assist you. Rally your knight at the place where she last was."
In the dream, you saw her. Was it at the same bar where we first met? Oh my God,
Martha?
Ikasha. Martha. Was it at the bar where we
first
met Martha?
Did we
think-
meet at a bar and not at the opera house?
No, it was at a bar,
Yeah, because we had to go find her.
The
That's right.
dream was at the bar. You can ask her if that's the correct answer, or you can ask something else.
Again, I'm gonna look around.
To be fair, the dream was at
team.
the bar, and then also outside during Corbin Payne's chaos.
Yeah, I remember a dream outside.
So
I thought,
you,
but
you had a
Wait,
dream where
oh,
she was the
GM.
singer, and then as you left that part of the dream, you visited the scene that Ami has seen on several occasions, which is Corbin Payne destroying the city.
Jim, where was she in that picture we have of her or have seen of her?
Hard to tell. That photo you've seen of her is
Oh,
just against
okay.
a brick wall.
So we don't know the last place she was.
Probably not. But you do know who she might have been with.
We do. Who was that? Do I have to use my question for it? Okay. I feel like rather than bother with that, I'll just ask Ami and ask her where is that?
How does she respond to this? Vince Beaumont is not entirely incorrect. You visited Corbin's tower once before, but now you must ascend to his bastion. You have the relics to get there, and I do believe you have the power to bring him down, if that is your wish.
So we go to the tower, and that's how we can get in contact with them?
I guess so. Are we needing to talk to Vincent Price? What was the name again?
You mean Vince Beaumont?
Thank you. Yeah.
I don't want to know who Vincent Price is.
What?
As you said. Does anyone need to do or want to do any more investigating?
No, I mean, I assume that was my 2 questions. So, like, I assume after that, Ariadne goes offline or something.
Yeah, we'll probably say guest 725 is offline now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll look at the team and just. Should we go to the tower or somewhere else first? Gather information.
I mean, I don't know the kind of information we need at this point. We just go in and we, I guess, do what we do best.
I wanna ask, what was it? The Rift of Thoth or Ibis?
1 second. Sorry, what were you going to ask them?
Well, I think, Alexi, since we've discovered things about, like, the Fisher King and all that, like, Lexi has become pretty into that question of what is the Holy Grail and who does it serve? And she's asking that to as many people as she can. So I think the fellow from the library, who I think was Ibis,
You
I want to see if I can.
Thoth.
Oh, it was Thoth? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna ask some questions at Thoth's place.
What is it that you seek, Lexi? You've already proven yourself. I'll be of assistance if I can.
I need to know about the Holy Grail. Like, I need to know what it is, and I need to know who it serves.
Well, as I'm sure you already are aware, according to legend, the relic of the Grail, sometimes known as the Magic Cauldron, can heal any wound and even bring the dead back to life. But there's little information on how these properties are evoked. Do you have a sample
A sample.
of the water of the Grail?
Did we take that fancy water?
Did you?
This rings a bell.
It rings a bell to me as well, but, like, I don't know that I wrote it down.
I remember this clearly. I do not believe you did.
Why?
But you do know someone who has a relic of sorts that might have it.
Oh.
We do? Who has water?
What if I just
think
get
Father
my
John knows.
Could have
Oh.
been part of what was in the vial. Oh.
Oh. And it's her essence, but it is just water from the Grail.
Because you know that the Grail can awaken people to their mythos essence.
I know where I can get some, but it's spoken for already. I can get the water for Banshee.
I mean, you guys I said you're welcome to go back to any location we've been to in the series so far. If you want to you go and try to get your a sample of the water that might be left there, I will allow it.
I think if that's what it
roll
takes.
well enough. So you're gonna have to roll change the game, and you'll use that story tag to get a sample of Grail water.
Okay. Yeah, I think I go down to that damp cave. I have,
You'll wrap up like whatever nonsense you have to do to get there into this roll.
Yeah.
So basically, like, the cult is trying its best to get back together, even without its grand leader. It's in a bit of disarray. I'm sure the mansion has been sacked, but there are still people around that might make it dangerous to you. So, depending on how well you roll, you'll either do it perfectly, or you'll have some issue on the way there.
Kind of want to see. Okay. Yeah, I think what Lexi does is she tries to walk in with a pack of, like, a hazmat suit, like, sample vials. She just goes, like, full, like, I've been touched by this stuff before, and I know what the cost is, but I need a good sample of it. So she puts on a hazmat suit, full gloves. She'll get, like, a little sample cup, tie it up, dry it off, and very carefully take it back.
Did you end up rolling?
I have not rolled yet. I'm just describing what her plan is and how she executes it.
Sounds good.
And now I'm going to change the game. That's a 16, baby.
Someone told me that would happen.
Thought? Okay, yeah.
Okay. You can feel free to use to change the game to make your thing go exactly as planned. I'll even say that you don't get wounded by the waters that are beneath the mansion, like you did last time.
Yeah, so I guess the thing that I get is Grail water with a 4.
Sounds good to me.
And then I go back to Thoth.
Yeah. So you bring it back to Thoth, and he meditates on it, and he looks through his books and finds as much information as he can. After about a day or two, perhaps, of his experimentation, he will come back to you and say, "Now, Lexi, it seems that the Water of the Grail is much more than a tool for simply healing. It is a doorway into a great, still emptiness, a field of endless potential that exists beyond even the Mythoi, where all is one. I do believe that some of the precepts of the cult might have been correct at one point. For one who holds the power of the Grail, all is possible. And if you believe that Corbin Payne not only possesses some Grail water, but the Grail itself, he is as powerful as a god. He is what is known as an avatar. He is completely consumed by the mythos that he is inhabited by. There is no more man to him. There is only power. He is not the only avatar in the city, but their identities are quite a secret. Even I don't know. The Grail does not... From my research, I would say the Grail does not serve any one person, but anyone who has the power to use it, to activate it, to control it, can do anything. I cannot say what it means to properly utilize the Grail, as I do not have that with me. But it will take quite some doing. There is a reason the Holy Grail is, well, holy. It is powerful beyond all things. And there is a reason why it is such a secret.
I'm sorry, I need to excuse myself for a minute.
Please do. Speaking of Grail water, Father John, you or what would bring you back to the church for some reason?
Ooh. I think going into this final confrontation, he'd be going there to kind of do one last prayer, say one last Hail Mary, just kind of get in as much possible help from the guy above that he could, since this might be the last time he asks for it.
As you do, you hear someone weeping.
I'll get up and look to see who it might be. Does it sound familiar?
It certainly does. It sounds like Martha. She is in the back of the church, and her eyes are wide, and you can tell from even a distance that she has chosen to put the amulet back on.
I think he just goes and sits next to her. I'm sorry. You know, ignorance is bliss and the truth hurts, and I could try to say as many sayings as there is in the book, but frankly, stuff like this isn't in there.
It's okay. You know, Father, and she's gonna hold out her hand to you. Do you take it?
Yes.
John, you're in a very different place from when we first met. I can tell that your pain is still there, but it is subsiding. And I really do hope that you find peace in the end. For you have brought peace to me in ways I didn't know. Literally and metaphorically. I can still feel it. I can feel all of the pain in the city, and it is crushing. But I have grown. And I can tell that you have too. Thank you for providing some answers. This obviously is a lot to handle, but I thought I should bring something up with you, since I've been reacquainted with my power.
Of course.
Before, there was so much of it. But now, it feels concentrated. As if the pain this city is in is no longer being spread as far as it once was. And yet, whoever is in pain is deeply, deeply in pain. I don't know what that means. It sounds ridiculous, I'm sure, but...
So does it, as opposed to being more widespread, does it feel more concentrated or localized, or...
Yes.
You,
And I know from experience that someone with that amount of pain should not be alive right now, and yet this aura is... He's hurting, is what I'm saying. As far as I can tell, whoever this person is, they are in a lot of pain, and they are barely coping with it.
Yeah, it seems like the only way they're coping is by making it everyone else's problem. So, but I imagine we're gonna go see this person here soon.
Yes. Bless you, John.
I'm never on the other side of that saying, usually. That's interesting.
Do you think God is on your side, John?
I don't think we find that out until the very end, kid. So, I think it's going to be a surprise for me, just like it will be for anyone else. But, I guess having faith means I hope so.
That's good. And she'll lift up your hand and kiss the back of it before retreating into the back of the church.
I'll get up and kind of straighten myself up, and I'll look back to her before she leaves and say, I don't know what's going to happen, but you keep yourself safe.
I feel the safest when I'm with you, John. Thank you for everything you've done. And with that note, because one of our players is indisposed at the moment, and we've been running for about an hour, I propose we do a small intermission, and join us back here in about 5 minutes' time, and we will continue on with the story. Hello, and welcome back to Madness Calls It Forth, the City of Mist campaign based on the Knights of Paynetown. Last we left, we had spoken to Father John and Martha, and they had a reconciliation of sorts. But just before that, we were researching the Grail with Thoth. Knowing more about the Grail and its power, we still do not quite know what it means to be powerful enough to access or use the Grail. One thing I'm going to say right now, before as you guys get ready to venture to the Corbin Tower, who of you is probably most in contact with Vince Beaumont now that he has been healed?
It seems like Celine, right?
I would assume, yeah. If he's a knight.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Celine, as you are preparing to visit Corbin Tower for the second and hopefully last time, you remember something important that didn't make sense at the time, but as you have come to know your new powers seems relevant. You remember Vince talking about how something that Corbin Payne has told him on one occasion, and their argument spawned from his belief that Corbin Payne was the reason that he lost his daughter. He believes that Corbin Payne has killed her, but is not totally sure. But one thing that he has mentioned to you is that Rio Beaumont is Corbin Payne's Percival, that she is his last hope. No one has seen Rio since she left Payne's apartment decades ago, lost and confused. But still, Vince believes that Rio is the key to everything.
Okay. The Corbin Tower, that's where his apartments are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I will just mention this as we're all getting ready to go,
Mm-hmm.
right? I will just mention that I remember Vincent saying that Rio had been Payne's Percival, his last hope, before she was never seen again.
Which of you remembers how to get to Corbin Tower?
Do not remember at all.
This is why in the tweet I was like, I hope you've been paying attention.
I feel like when we travel
Um,
places, it's like, and then we go there, right? So, yeah, I do not remember how to get there, other than asking the GM, may we go there, please?
Pretty sure we took some kind of shitty sedan, like we do for everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a beat-up Civic. That's the important part, right? No. So you have Galahad's dagger, which you got from the cult leader, and it is what led you to Corbin Tower for the first time, and you will need it because its hilt to point towards the Grail Castle is one of its main powers. You navigate through the city through a wall of mist that seems to obscure your way at every turn, and yet Galahad's dagger once again leads you towards a falling apart, decrepit tower that at one point would have been Corbin Tower. Payne's truest, like, I was so mise en place. But his truest accomplishment would have been Corbin Tower, this great, beautiful, gorgeous tower that was never fully completed before he was injured, and that left the rest of the city wondering where he was, because he vanished off the face of the earth after that day. In fact, as the three of you walk into the plaza that is the lowest level of Corbin Tower, you shift through the mist in a way that you are not familiar with. Ami, you're probably the closest to recognizing what's happening right now, in that the emotional pain of what's happened in this area has presented you a vision of what was here in the past. And so, Ami, you're the one who sees it first. The area fills with the hubbub of voices. There is excited people. You hear camera flashes going off, and the four of you find yourself on the red carpet leading up to the entrance of Corbin Tower.
All right, is everyone ready?
As ready as I think you're gonna be. Don't we gotta, since we're here now, don't we gotta see about speaking with, or see if we can find?
Thank you to the person in chat who donated $20 for I believe it was permanent magic item, as according to our rewards table. Feel free to use that as someone hopefully saw that in chat, what they wrote. So if you can look into that once we're done with this scene, you can look into it. Ami, you notice this first before all the others. You notice a very young and healthy, glamorous young man who is wearing fashionable peak of turn of the century clothing, a suit and tie, and a killer smile as he unfolds himself from the limousine and walks down the red carpet towards the unveiling of Corbin Tower. You can tell this is a ribbon cutting ceremony, or like a breaking of ground, that kind of thing, for what would eventually become Corbin Tower. And a loud snap breaks through your concentration of this scene, and from somewhere in the crowd you see someone has shot Corbin Payne in the upper leg, and he falls to the ground on the red carpet. Who is most in touch with their feelings among us all?
Honestly, Father John, probably.
That's a scary notion, but
I mean,
Let's
he's a
put
very
it
reserved person.
Let's put it this way. Father John, you have been most recently in a connection with Martha, and something about that connection has given you just a touch of her emotional connection to the world. And
I did wear her amulet briefly, so
you feel this the most strongly, and it pulls you to your knees for a second there. You feel Corbin's intense physical pain, and in a moment you run through rage and bitterness and untold despair coming from the echoes of the past that is all around you.
right. That sucks. So he's not just coming back, he's reliving everything? Is that what this is? Some sort of time loop that he stuck himself in to just cycle that rage into some kind of force on himself?
If you want to do any investigating here, I can tell you more about Corbin Payne's story.
Yes.
Do you want to investigate or look beyond the mist?
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't have a lot of mythos, so I think investigating might be the better option for me.
Okay.
Because looking through the mist is using mythos, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using your mythos.
Omni, on the other hand, would be incredible at it.
So yeah, if anyone wants to do looking beyond the mist, I can tell you more specific information about the scene. Otherwise, I will tell you the kind of general information that you can pick up by viewing this retrocognition.
So I'll go ahead and just investigate with compassionate and have a heart-to-heart.
Okay.
Would also endure any punishment be
No,
part of
that
this since
feels
I'm
inappropriate.
okay? I just wasn't sure since I was feeling that pain too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wait, catching overlooked details also would have made sense there. If you're
Oh,
If
the
you're
crew
one
thing.
away, feel free.
I got a 13 without
You're
it.
good enough. So technically, you're supposed to ask me questions. I'm gonna give you this one for free, though. From all of your research into Corbin Payne, you can tell that at one point he was incredibly successful, and this seems to be him at the height of his success. And from the amount of pain you can feel in this moment, you can tell this is the turning point in his life. On his way to a charity gala, he was shot in what some people say the gut or the groin, and he was permanently disabled after that. It was beyond just the physical limitations. You can tell that this sent Corbin Payne into a deep pit of despair. And that's what you can pick up from the scene. Anyone else want to do anything here?
Army would be willing to look beyond the mist.
Okay.
And that's not in the cinematic moves, is it?
Nope. It is just investigate, but you use plus mythos.
However many.
mythos tags.
Are relics
Mythos
considered
cards, yeah.
mythos?
All your purple cards, which I think you have 3, right?
You have 3 purple cards, right?
Yes.
So add
So
plus
it'd be
3 to
a 3
investigate roll.
bonus.
Yeah.
Uh, 10.
Excellent. You watch this scene as it plays over and over again, and you can tell that this is obviously the imprint of a quite serious amount of strong emotions. But as you review the scene, you notice that the shooter is visible after a while, and it looks exactly like Corbin Payne himself, as if Corbin Payne conjured a vision of himself and inflicted the pain on himself unknowingly.
I will definitely be sure to share that with the group.
Mm-hmm.
Is this maybe like the first time he manifested his rift, or?
Mm-hmm. I think you could probably tell that from sharing all of your details together. And
He
as
killed himself? Is this like Looper?
Well, he didn't die. He-
Right. He's just
But-
showing up and shooting himself.
His power is giving that delirious. I keep forgetting how it's what it's dolorous.
Dolorous.
So
Stroke.
the dolorous stroke.
There we
so
go.
so his power is delivering a dolorous stroke. So the first person he ever gave it to was himself, apparently, and that was when he manifested it. It looked-
Why?
I can't believe, Robert, in the finale of this show, you open our crusade against the villain on a scene of him stroking himself.
Oh my god.
Okay, the show's over. We're done. Bye.
That's it. Roll credits.
I knew this is how it would end.
And speaking of which, the scene dissipates, and you're back into a dark, dusty plaza below the decrepit Corbin Tower.
So same spot now, it's just all decrepit.
Yeah, you're back in the present day now. But you can ascend up the tower if you so wish.
So in order to find that person, we're supposed to go to where they were last seen. Is that right, Celine?
So it would be his apartments. Or, okay, to get technically correct, they were last seen leaving his apartments. Do we need to?
You were right the first time, don't worry.
Okay.
So just get to the hallway, or perhaps the elevator.
Let's go.
Does this wreck have an elevator?
Flat.
It did at one point.
Ami, do
There's
some
for
time
us.
magic and make the elevator come back.
And let's do a time warp.
I am
Is
not
that how
getting
that
an
works?
elevator in this building.
I'm pretty sure that's how that worked, right?
It's just a jump to the left.
And a step to the right.
Yeah. It's been a while since I've been to a
I'm
midnight
waiting
show,
patiently
but
for John to put his hands on his lips.
Ami brings her knees in tight. Yep, and pelvic thrust. Boom.
Ami is walking up whatever stairs are within eyeshot.
You can tell from what used to be here that this place was beautiful. It was the most... it was modern by those standards, and it is still gorgeous to this day. You climb up a long ascending staircase in the foyer and find yourself on one of the hallways looking out above the city. Here, you find someone else. You might notice them first as you ascend the stairs. There is a... they look like they are either a vagrant or a squatter, but they seem to flicker in and out of existence here.
I mean, Ami will, are they panhandling or are they just sitting there?
They are stooped up against the wall, and they look... You can't really tell what they're doing, but you can tell that there is someone who... You can't tell, really. Not right now.
for the rest of us.
I was just gonna say, Ami would tell everybody whether you see him or not.
Do we see them?
Oh, yes, yeah, you do.
Okay. Father John will call out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we help you?
I think Lexi just cruises right up to him and, like, does the little, like, pop on a knee. Check out their vibe.
Hey, me and my three friends saw you from across the lobby. We're not sure about what your vibe is.
Their
get a
vibe
vibe
is
check.
that...
And we are absolutely baffled by your vibe.
Their vibe is that of pain. And as soon as you approach them, they look up into you. They have no eyes, and they screech with a pain that is decades old. Who goes to them first? Is it Lexi or is it John?
John took the safe approach and hollered at him from across the room. Lexi walked on up.
Okay then, Lexi. They immediately grab your arm and they dig some claws into your skin. I'm going to need you to face danger for me.
Okay. I'm gonna do that by invoking Death on 2 legs and my axe, Labris. I think I just like, throw up the axe in kind of a blocking position. It's got, I've never described it in detail before, but like, it's like absurdly large blade. So she probably just like puts up the flat of the blade to block whatever's coming at her.
Okay.
And you said face danger. I fend off the effect and take no status at all.
What'd you roll?
10.
Lovely. You put up your axe there, and you can see this. It's almost a ghost. They're technically called Grail Whites, and they are trying their best to inflict pain onto you in any way possible. What do you do?
To get a little bit more vibe checky, is this like some kind of minion creature, kind of like the vampires from last time, or is this like a person under the effects of the dolorous stroke just cranked to 100?
It's kind of the latter. It is someone who, I mean, if you wanted to investigate them, you could. They're probably not alive anymore. There is no way that they are a human being underneath all this.
Okay. Okay. Then I do what a big lady with an axe do best, and I chop.
Do you want to roll to hit with all you've got?
Oh. Would I ever? Yeah, I'll just keep those same tags, I guess.
While she rolls that, I would like to note that upon seeing that happen, I would start rushing up and closing the distance.
Celine,
wait.
can you roll
Shoot.
to face danger for me as well?
Real quick, I'm just gonna throw some rolls out because I should have marked dynamite because this move is dynamite for me.
Okay. That just means that if you roll above a certain amount, you get extra bonuses, right?
Yeah. But I don't remember what the bonuses are.
It's
There
12
we go.
plus.
Oh, 12 plus.
Yeah. And then I forget exactly what the...
Wow, I literally hit a 12 on the first one. There we go. Took a bunch of rolls to get back to it. But, hey, I got those rolls out of the queue. Look at me go. Okay, so I can pick, give the target an appropriate status, tier equal to power, choose one, defend an ally from a counterstrike, the target of your attack cannot attack that ally, hit them hard, +2 tier, or get more of them, +2 targets, extreme collateral damage, control the conflict. Yeah! I'll take control the conflict and get 2 juice. So I think what this looks like is kind of Alexi swinging the axe. It becomes like a dance between her and this Grail White. She advances and the blade is like swinging forward over the shoulder, and when the White tries to get around, it comes across, blocking its advance on her friends, and she's kind of pushing it towards the edge of the building, so that it has fewer options for moving about.
What status are you giving it?
I would like to give it, I guess that's cornered 4.
Gotcha.
Maybe I should have just given it chopped
basically,
up.
yeah, you're gonna hit them to actually inflict damage, and then any of the other ones are on addition to that. Because you want to hit, you give the target an appropriate status of your choice with tier.
Okay.
Power. On a 10
Then
plus, you choose
maimed.
2.
is, I think, appropriate for 4.
Okay, maimed 4.
Maimed 4, and then the juice is me getting like a superior position.
Okay. So you are going to find that as you slice through this thing, it will dissipate. And you have successfully subdued it. However, as soon as you do and your your weapon hits the ground, from within, you feel pain growing within you as well. You're going to take maimed 2, and since the pain strikes from within you, you may only face danger with tags that resist pain.
I've got literally nothing. Neat. Unless healed counts, which
No.
didn't
It
think
is
so.
Emotionally healed.
You said face danger?
Correct.
Boink. Mild success. So that's pained 1 or maimed 1.
Maimed 1,
I
correct.
feel like that's, I'll just call that nicked.
But it's something that you can't physically see. It is a gut-wrenching kind of like stab inside your stomach, and you can't tell if it was a physical or pain or not, but this white has inflicted pain back upon you, even in its dying moments. Speaking of dying moments, there is a sword approaching you at high velocity, Celine. Did you roll to face danger for
yeah,
me?
I rolled to face danger and I got great success. I fend off the effect and take no status at all.
Tell us, how do you fend off this Grail White?
Is it a second one?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, since I was already moving on high alert, I would imagine that, like, my bracelet was already, like, Excalibur was already forming from mist into some sort of blade.
Mm-hmm.
And so if a second one comes up, it would have just been natural reaction to bring it up in a parry.
This one looks more masculine in some ways. Obviously, as the same as Lexi saw, this is a person who is probably long dead and is more of a ghost than a person at this point. But they are attacking you with what?
Revenant vibe.
Yeah, what looks like in one moment a lead pipe, and as the mist shifts around them, it looks like they are a knight with a sword.
Can I change the game? If it looks like these are knights that have been abandoned almost and left to their pain,
Mm-hmm.
I would like to change the game. I would like to try and release this thing from its service. Put it to peace. Put it to rest.
I will allow you to do that. However, in order to heal a Grail White, it requires a no return, stop
Heal?
holding back.
Heal is a strong word. I don't know if it's more like this thing's dead. It's been left to just linger in pain.
Okay.
I want to release it.
Okay.
So like,
Excalibur
Like,
uses
yeah,
turn
if I-
undead.
yeah, basically like, yeah, I want to just use Excalibur as Queen of the Round Table to send this creature, like, release it from its service, all Aragorn style, like, no, it's done, go.
Okay. You said you want to roll to change the game?
Change the game. I would assume that would be the move to use here, right?
So it's when you want to give you or your allies an advantage. So you'd create a power story tag or something like that.
Oh.
Let's see, if I wanted you to do this, one sec. How would we do it this way? Take the risk is the most generic of the moves. Why don't you do that?
Okay.
Let's perform a daring feat.
I do it somehow. It's the literal word. A wording of that.
What did you roll?
A 10.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, you do it somehow. Yeah, so tell us what this looks like when you release a Grail White.
So I would bring my blade up in a parry from the initial attack, and then turning to see this creature as it's coming in with a lead pipe, and I see the flicker of its past as it was a knight, and it's just been living stuck in this tower, still somehow tied to this through pain.
Mm-hmm.
I will just like kind of put my arm out and then pull the blade back and thrust it up under its like chest bone, that bone there, and just say very quietly, I release you from your service.
And what does that look like? What happens when
I
they
would
are
think
released?
There would be a moment of like almost shock, and then that kind of like sigh as it just kind of dissipates.
Okay. As it dissipates, you see into the room behind you where they were coming out of, and it looks like something that doesn't quite fit into the rest of this, but it is another vision that you are sensing in this other room. Behind where the white disappeared from, there is a turn-of-the-century psychoanalyst office with Payne on a sofa and Dr. Knight in an armchair. Do you decide to enter the room?
Yeah, I will turn to the others and then kind of step forward to the edge of the threshold, looking in. I don't want to disturb the memory or moment in time. Just observe.
You're just observing?
Yeah.
You see a series of scenes that all look very similar, but it's in various poses and various times. This is a very young Dr. Crystal Knight, and you can tell that she is eager to do things right, and she is attempting her best to work through his pain in the psychoanalyst's office. Once again, if you want to investigate or look beyond the mist, I can give you more information.
Yeah, I will, I think I'm still holding my blade, but I will just kind of steady my breathing and like focus in on what I'm seeing, take in the surroundings, and try and concentrate on hearing what they're actually saying.
Okay.
Would that be an investigate?
Investigate beyond the mist, so investigate plus the number of theme cards mythos cards you have, which is currently 2.
Investigate. $14, great success.
There we go. So, as you watch more and more, you find a version of Dr. Knight who is far less twisted than the version you saw at the asylum. This is a woman who had real desire to do good in the world, and you can watch the scene as you tell that she is trying her best to heal Payne. And as you listen in on their conversations, Corbin Payne is becoming more and more bitter, leaving scarring remarks in their sessions. And the prevalent emotion you find in this room here is shame. Pain through inflicting his own pain onto her. She feels ashamed that she couldn't do more. She could not save Pain. And that's what led her down her path and gave her her dolorous stroke. Pain, on the other hand, is feeling a strange mixture of satisfaction and guilt from his endless abuse of Dr. Crystal Knight. Yeah.
Looking back from this scene, I'll just kind of look at the others, and like get their attention, kind of signaling over to the scene that I'm watching, see if they can come see it too. If they are unable to see it, I will just transcribe what I saw for them.
Let's say that they're having difficulty to see it because they're not looking beyond the mist currently, but the very last thing that you see that all four of you do see together is one of the strongest emotions that happens in the scene, as you feel the dollar stroke hit Crystal Knight in one brief dark moment, and he hands her this looking glass, a small mirror. In it, she looks in and you feel her shame amplified. This is her Snow Queen's mirror, and as she leaves, all four of you watch as she leaves the room and disappears into the mist outside. But you can tell that this is the moment where Crystal Knight got turned into the first of the Grail Knights. How are you all doing?
I'll turn back to the others and check on Lexi. See how she's doing. Did it get you? Are you alright?
It didn't even touch me. They bounce things back on you. Should have remembered that from earlier.
Okay.
It's like when we went to go toe-to-toe with that alchemist. He reflected it.
Are you okay to continue?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I will turn, like, standing beside her and, like, move to continue on up the tower, I guess?
Okay. As you slowly ascend through the tower, you can tell that the building is in a complete disarray. You see from a distance additional Grail Wights that you know to keep away from. And every so often, Ami, you see something that looks kind of like the Grail Wights, but are dressed in fine garments. Do you ever approach any of them?
I probably would not approach any of them unless I'm bringing it up to the group and asking for their suggestion. I wouldn't just casually walk up to them, any of them, no.
So I'll give it up to the group. What do you do when you hear that Ami is starting to notice some variations on the Wights you've seen before?
Can we tell the difference?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
She would have probably described the difference as well.
Well, because I was wondering if it had anything to do with, like, your deeper access to your mythos. That.
I think Ami notices them first because of that. But they'll reveal themselves to each of you in turn as you climb up the tower.
I think we need to continue on. There's nothing we can do to help whoever's trapped in here.
And do they look like they might be just as hostile?
I think that was a question to you,
Yeah, give me
Proper.
1 second, sorry. What was the question again? Do they look dangerous?
Do they look like they're about as hostile as the other ones were?
They do not.
Alright, if you guys want to stand back, I can see if these things interact in a different way. And
It might be worth it to
yeah,
unlock more of these memories.
the more we know, the
Yeah,
Yeah,
they don't.
better
don't care
off we
about
are.
stuff.
So I'll tell you all kind of like back up, get like in the stairwell, and I'll carefully approach one.
They don't make any sounds, but as you approach them, they seem to smile at you.
I smile back and nod. Hey, how's it going? And
John, do you have any pain or injuries at the moment?
I've got one hidden pain left.
Not hidden pain,
Oh.
but real pains. Were you hit
no.
during the last encounter with? Okay. What they'll do is they'll smile and nod at you, but they won't offer anything to you.
Do I see them like looking as though they're like trying to be compassionate or?
Yeah. They
Okay.
look very kind. They seem to have powders and ointments in their hands, and but they are simply being just very gentle and.
Hey, Lexi. You trust me? I got a feeling about these things.
Okay. And Lexi will cruise on over.
And I'll try and like motion to Lexi, who I see is kind of limping a little bit. Or
I
at
think
least-
she's holding her side.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks like she has like a stitch in her side, but like she keeps looking at her hand expecting there to be blood.
And I'll motion the spirits to Lexi.
One of them will hold up a small bowl with a kind of a poultice inside, and it looks for you for affirmation before doing anything.
She'll kind of like pull at her shirt where the injury is or where she feels it, because it's definitely physicalized on her.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of, yeah, go at it.
Who knows, maybe ghost wound would need some ghost healing.
So these valets, they look sort of like they're valets of the castle. They flicker back and forth between the turn-of-the-century clothes and kind of these very almost elfish-looking outfits. And one of them takes a bit of the salve and begins to rub it onto the side where you're in pain. You can remove that instance of pain, and instead gain 1 tier of pleasantly relieved.
Smells like Vicks Vapor Rub.
It feels absolutely wonderful, Lexi. However, it compels you to stay. You love this sensation so much that you don't want to walk away. You want to stay here longer.
I would not like that as a person.
You okay, Lex? How you feeling?
We should be moving on.
This. Holy shit. You know when they give you the good stuff at the hospital?
I was about to say this is exactly what that feels like.
You got the spirit, the spiritus morphine on you?
You know how I talk about that like tracer, the red tracer on Lexi's eyes? It turns like, you know how, I don't know if anybody else has experienced being high, but like on cannabis, like you get like flashes of stuff. The tracers go to like dots. It's like tuck, 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 tuck. as she kind of leans back and opens her eyes and stretches.
I'll hook my arm under Lexi's like, come on, Lotusita, we got places to be.
No, this is real good.
If you're really good, we'll come back down.
No, she's gonna like shrug you off and be like, no, but like let them finish.
Lexi, we need to keep moving.
Lexi, one of them will actually put out its hand and cup your cheek, kind of trying to convince you to stay longer.
Lexi.
Why do y'all gotta make a move? Come on.
Yeah,
Do something. Don't just call
will
out to
walk
me.
up and slap her if she needs to, but
Who are you slapping?
Lexi.
Please roll hit with all you've got.
I'm using a tag called Can You Feel That?
Incredible detail. Thank you for sharing.
15.
What power did you have?
3.
You're gonna get slapped 3, Lexi. However,
Ami will.
Ami, I need you to roll to face danger because at the moment you slap Lexi, one of the valets turns on you and blows a strange powder into your face.
That's legit. A 10.
Excellent. You receive none of the danger, but you notice as it goes by that you get a whiff of like, you know when you've had a little too much Benadryl and you suddenly feel real sleepy? That's the sensation you feel as it wafts by you, but you step out of the way just in time that you don't get any of it in your sinuses. In order to escape
sneeze
Lexi,
and walked it away.
you will have to take the risk using power tags that refer to your emotional willpower. However, I'll ask you to roll that if you decide you want to try to leave. Chrissy, what does Ami want to do right now, though?
Nothing. No big deal. Lexi can go ahead.
Or if anyone else wants to do anything while Lexi's recovering.
Can we like assist with Lexi making that move, or?
I'm gonna ask again. Does healed count here?
I'll say it does not.
It'd be very, very strong. I think the empathetic feels right. Like,
I'll allow it.
but not he keeps me honest, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with Graham.
Or honesty, for that matter. 7. Things get messy.
Things get messy, yeah. The MC will offer you a hard bargain or an ugly choice. So what I'm going to say is, as you try to leave, the valet that has you in its hand grabs the other half of your face and pulls you in. Because you rolled a mixed success, you will receive the pleasantly relieved status again, so you can get rid of slapped 3, but it'll be you'll be replaced by pleasantly relieved 2. So add that onto whatever you had before.
Add that on top of whatever I had before?
Yep.
So I'm at pleasantly relieved 3.
Yeah.
Well, John, this was a terrible idea.
I'm gonna try to do a convince to see if maybe that might assist you.
You're trying to
And-
convince Lexi?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to do compassionate, have a heart-to-heart, and then always watching our backs for the tags.
Okay.
Oh, shit. That's a 5.
Oh my god.
Knock it off, Lexi. Come on, we gotta go.
So, technically, Lexi, you can escape because you did roll a mixed success, but you have that sensation with you that's not going to go away right now. So you're going to feel like you need to go back to them, even if you do try to escape from them in this situation. As for the convincing, something bad is going to happen to you, John. So in that moment when you try to convince Lexi to leave, you feel this is gonna sound weird because it's gonna sound like it's gonna be negative, but it's not. You these valets radiate kindness, and the instant you try to convince Lexi that they're not worth it, you're gonna take the status Remorseful 3.
I feel bad I said it.
Yes, you do.
Remorseful 3.
Correct.
Come on, Lexi, stop being an idiot. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
You feel remorseful towards the valet.
Yeah.
Sorry, pal.
Look, it's nothing personal. We just got shit to do.
Celine and Ami, what do you do?
Did that work? Like Lexi's gonna come with us? She's just gonna want to come back later?
Yes. So she got a
Okay,
mixed success,
I am-
so it went bad, so she got an extra status. But she did get a success, so she can leave if she still wants to.
Okay, I am just gonna reach down and like just take her hand and just, okay, let's go. And try and seize on this moment that she's got a little bit of clarity
Okay.
and try and lead us all away from these things. And continue upwards.
And so you do. You climb up into the tallest parts of the tower. The higher you go, the more and more that it seems that the higher you go, the less constructed this building is. Things are getting dangerous. You are having to cross hallways that are only half built. The stairs break on several occasions. I'm going to actually ask all of you to roll. Let's see. I'm going to ask each of you to roll Face Danger. And for the various dangers across the tower as you ascend. Whether you succeed or fail, please let me know. And you can feel free, if you like, to describe some dangerous task you have to do to get up in the tower. If you want to, narrate your own things. Otherwise, I will make you suffer.
Alright, I got an 8, a mild success.
Okay.
So I take the status, or
You're gonna take
-1 tier.
anything specifically you want Celine to struggle with?
Distracted.
Okay.
I'm worried about Lexi.
Okay, you are distracted, and I'll give you a tier of distracted 1. You almost slip, and there is a room that's not completely finished, and you almost fall through the floor to the next level down. And you catch yourself just in time because you got a mixed success, but you are distracted one because of Lexi, and now because you almost fell. Ami, what do you roll?
10.
Excellent. You are climbing the stairs, and a stair falls through, and you are able to leap over it. You kind of see it in a moment before everyone else does, and you're able to get out of the way before anything happens to you. Lexi.
I rolled an 11.
Excellent.
A 13.
Anything particular you want?
I think
This is
what
your
this
chance
looks...
to do something badass, basically.
Yeah. I think we're walking up some like partially crumbled stairs, and Lexi's at the rear at this point, and this chunk of stair just like falls out from underneath her, and she kind of like falls down and like catches a bit of rebar, and I think people are like, "Oh, I'll pull you up," and she's like, "Absolutely not. That's gonna put all of you in a worse situation." So she looks around and she like swings herself, and then like jumps off of the wall to grab the stairs on the other side, where she can more easily like roll up onto them.
Damn, look at you go. And lastly but not least, John, how'd you fare?
I got an 8.
Okay, mixed
So
success.
mild success.
Anything in particular?
I think honestly, like, I don't know if the remorseful was going to be a negative that was going to be impacting on this, but I think like the more like he's seeing everyone else is struggling and everything else, he's just starting to like think back about like how bad he feels for everyone else, and like how, you know, what happened back there was his fault, and he's just distracted by it. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's like, hey, we should have just walked past it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Let's see. I'm gonna say that you are, as you are moving from room to room, you get caught on a rusty nail. Take scraped 1 as your mixed success status.
Cool.
And because chat is asking if you use advantage, it's 3d6 drop lowest. So if you want to use it. Also, anyone, I think what the donation was is for the permanent grill water that you used earlier in the scene. So if you want to hold on to that for some use later on, you can.
Oh, hell yeah.
Who have I not bothered already? Let's see. John, actually, you know what? Why not? You.
Why not?
As you get grazed by this piece of metal sticking out from one of the hallways.
Well, now I got tetanus. Awesome. Perfect. That's just how I thought this night would go.
Speaking of wounds, you stumble into a room that you did not intend to go into, and you see another one of these visions. This time, Armand Kai is in there with Corbin Payne, and they are discussing something. He has in his arms a stack of books. He is much younger. From the photos in the mansion that you visited, you know this is Armand Kai, but it is a much younger version of him.
And he was the cult leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
One of the books in his hands, you can tell that he's probably looking into what his passion always has been, which is the secret to eternal life. And Father John, let's see. Would you roll to look beyond the mist for me as this scene unfolds?
All right. Oh, it's a 10.
Lovely. There is a moment where they are discussing things and an argument starts to break out. You can't tell exactly what they're talking about. This is simply a vision. It's not quite a replay, but it is when
This is the
permanent item. Ami needs a Mary Poppins umbrella. I can't read the rest of it. If someone else wants to read whatever that was. There's a moment where they're an argument, and Corbin is in a wheelchair, and exposes the dolorous stroke, the original wound that he has to Armand Kai. In this moment, as you're looking beyond the mist, you feel Armin's fear of death, something that you probably are unfamiliar with at this point, that you can't die, and Armand Kai knows that he will die. And the moment where Armand realizes that his fear of death is becoming legendary, this is where he becomes another Grail Knight. And you can tell that Payne is deriving pleasure from the act of revealing the wound to Armand and filling him with a paralyzing horror and disgust. As Armand rushes from the room, this is the moment you realize that Armand's pain comes from this moment of realizing his death is approaching ever so quickly, and what led him down the path to become the cult leader of Magnum Opus.
And the more pain that Corbin's inflicting, the better he's feeling, or more powerful he's getting.
Yep. So you can feel when he is getting some enjoyment out of inflicting pain, it's also relieving pain from himself. And that's the second one of those that you've seen so far. To speed up this process a little bit, as you ascend Luca, Celine is going to run into another vision, this time of Vince Beaumont. This is a person who doesn't look anything like the Vince Beaumont you know, where Calvin Cirrus is the current rendition. This is the original version. This is a young man with dark skin, and he looks like he is full of energy and power. But this is a moment where Vince Beaumont is here to take down Corbin Payne. It happens once, twice, several different versions of Vince Beaumont in various different looks as he storms into Corbin's bedroom and tries to kill him again and again. If you'd like to roll, could you please look beyond the mist for me? You watch as Beaumont's violence turns to rage, and he tries to kill Corbin Payne again and again and again.
Uh, 12.
Excellent. Because as you look beyond the mist, you feel Vince Beaumont's pain as it flourishes. Every single time that he kills Corbin Payne, the Grail lights up and brings him back to life. And every time that Vince Beaumont dies, you see another one of these visions as he comes back and tries to kill Corbin again. There is violence and rage in Beaumont's life that has no end. And it's also where you feel his grief towards losing his daughter. But also you notice one thing that is kind of surprising to you. It's that every time that Corbin does die before he is revived, he is surprised and momentarily relieved. And he is washed by withering disappointment and anguish each time that he is revived.
Okay. As we continue onward, I will just mention what I saw, and you know, bring up the fact that it may be that when it comes to killing Corbin Payne, he may actually be on our side.
With that revelation, do you want to take a break or continue going?
Is this as a table?
Sorry, as a table, I just want to make sure. Do you want to take a break right now or keep going?
That'd be great. I am out of ice water.
Please do. We will be back momentarily for the final scenes of Madness Calls It Forth. So take a break and be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Thank you very much for everyone who's watching. Hello and welcome back to Madness Calls It Forth, a City of Mist campaign based on the Knights of Paynetown. Last we left, we were seeing some visions of the past. However, as we ascend to the topmost floor of Corbin Tower, we find ourselves in the penthouse suite. There is still a layer of dust across all of the furniture in this room, where it seems someone has been living for some amount of time, despite the fact that most of the building is still under construction. This room was the first one to be completed after Corbin's disappearance from city life. The four of you enter the apartment all together, and the scene shifts almost immediately, as you've seen several times before. A vision of one of Corbin Payne's old apartments. This is, you can tell from his age, it's just after the shooting that inflicted the dolorous stroke. He is still an impressive man, and despite his age, he has been crippled by a festering wound. He's leaning on a cane and wearing a very dirty bathrobe. And this is when a young girl enters the scene. Someone you haven't seen before, but you immediately recognize as Rio Beaumont, because she looks just like her father. And this time, this scene is so strong and powerful in all of your eyes. You can hear what they're saying. And she smiles this brilliant, beautiful smile of... For some of you, especially the older ones in the group, it looks like, childish. It looks naive. But Ami, I mean, you can tell just that it's so sincere. She says to Corbin Payne that it is her destiny to unlock the Grail, heal both Payne and the city. Payne responds bitterly, "What do you know?" and shows her to the Grail in the form of a stained wash basin. This old, decrepit-looking wash basin is filled with the glistening Grail water. And the moment she looks into it, the entire scene becomes a bloody watercolor painting and fades into a gray mist. You feel, and she feels, lost, out of touch and clueless. And so she shuts it all out. And at the last lingering moment when she's still there, Payne feels hope, and she believes she may one day return to heal him. And this is a moment when... what is Excalibur like right now? Is it weapon form, or is it back around your wrist?
It's back around my wrist.
It starts to warm up slightly, as if it's trying to reach out about something.
Okay. Can I tell it all what it's trying to do? Or is it trying to, lead me somewhere? Is this something, where it's like a game of hot and cold? Can I follow it?
Do you remember what Ariadne told you?
No.
Does anyone at the table remember what Ariadne told her? Come on, guys, it was 3 hours ago. Not
I plead the ADHD.
even. Ariadne told you to go where Rio last went, which was here at Corbin Payne's apartment. And she obviously failed. But you have the power to rally your knights. And it's possible you can talk to her using Excalibur.
And we find the basin?
The basin is part of the vision.
Okay, so there's not a basin in this room.
If it is warming up, can I try and follow it in my mind to where it's trying to reach out to? Try and connect with her?
What form does it take?
Dowsing rods.
I'm not sure because it always has to be a weapon.
Nunchaku.
I was gonna say something large, like my first instinct would be like a shield or something reflective.
I'd like that. That's up to you.
But I don't know if that counts as a weapon.
If you find something interesting enough that makes sense, then I will totally allow it.
Very large bladed hand axe with a nice reflective surface.
Okay. What are you trying to do with it?
Speak to her
With a hand axe.
as the like mirror.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Listen, unless someone can tell me like a mirror-shaped weapon.
A shield. If
Does that count?
I feel like you've shielded up before. There are shields that have blades on them.
I like that it has blades, therefore it's a weapon.
What would you... I mean, look. It's not really armor if you punch with it, right?
All right, like what those battering shields? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, in the same way that you've done it 1,000 times before, the bracelet around your wrist forms into a large glimmering shield. And you don't notice it at first, but the other party members do. You are looking upon a scene of an old woman. She is sitting in a cafe, and she is drinking a cup of tea.
Is it the same person, just older? Does it look like?
Yes, it does. She is wearing a look of profound peace. Let's say, John, your eyes lock, and you know you found one you're seeking. You found Percival.
Percival. Am I getting like that's their rift, or is that just...
Vince Beaumont once said that Rio is Corbin's Percival. She is his last hope.
And we're just seeing the reflection only, though, right?
She locks eyes with you, and she says, I have not been here in quite a long time.
Where exactly are you now?
Isn't it obvious? I've been with you this entire time.
I mean, I don't frequent cafes often, but it's good to know you at least have been around. Anybody else seeing this?
Nod from Lexi.
So if you're the Percival to this story, what do we do? What did you try to do?
I tried to heal Corbin Payne, but I was young, I was stupid, I didn't understand the world, and I didn't understand myself. I was tied down by a pain so unbearable, that the entire city seems to hold one. I didn't understand myself, and I didn't understand the Grail, and I didn't understand Corbin Payne. It's been a long time, and I've come to understand myself a lot better.
So then, what do we need to understand?
You need to understand what it means to be broken, what it means to be wounded, what it means to be in pain. Sure, it might sound cheesy, but Corbin is suffering from the most intense pain that the mist can bestow on a person. He did it to himself, and yet it grows year after year. He cannot use the Grail because he has never truly learned to deal with his pain. He has never learned to move past his pain. The Grail is not a vessel, but a model for how one may become a vessel. To unlock the power of the Grail, one must become the Grail, full of attention, full of consciousness. To unlock the power of the Grail, one must know oneself wholly. When this is so, all it takes to call upon the power of the Grail is to be still and listen. I cannot tell you how much self-knowledge is enough. And no one can really know if they are ready, not until they hold the Grail and look into it themselves. I tried all those long years ago because I thought I might be the one. I might be a Percival. I might be a reason that someone can walk back from pain and destruction. I spent many years with Excalibur. I spent many years learning about myself. I'm not the savior here. But if you know yourself and you understand your pain, you can be. I still believe he can be healed, whether you believe it or not. He is a powerful avatar of the Fisher King. But he has never reached into himself and has never understood what it means to be wounded. He has simply inflicted that pain on everyone else. Do you understand now?
So how does one, if they feel confident in themselves, take on the Grail itself? Is that something we need to be near him to do, or?
If he dies while the Grail is still with him, he'll be revived. It is feeding into his pain in a way. Because he has never faced it, he must continue to face it over and over and over again. All you have to do is take it away from him. I'm not sure what he'll do to keep it with him. Because as much as it pains him, he feels attached to it. He feels like he needs it. If you can separate Corbin Payne from the Grail, if you can activate the Grail itself has the power to heal Corbin Payne. It's both his only solution and the one thing he cannot use.
We gotta know ourselves in order to take it over, or
Yes.
know our own pain?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Alright then. So where do we go from here? Where's he at?
She points straight out behind you, and in this vision of the apartment, you can see what looks like the door to the outside, or what would be an outside door if we weren't 50 stories in the air.
Is it like an actual door that's there, or just in the vision?
It does
I'll
correspond
walk.
with the real door.
I'll walk up to it.
There is, like a door at the outside world, there is a peephole from the inside, and it's just a very ordinary front door.
Any other word of advice before we make this thing happen? Or does anybody else have any questions?
I guess we get to go play therapist.
In all your self-searching, do you know who the Grail serves?
I don't know. I don't think it serves anyone. A mysterious cat wanders in the distance. In fact, a mysterious cat disappears all but the eyes and then fades out of existence.
Sorry, she may keep that up.
Father John, what do you do?
I'll grab the door handle.
You open the door and find yourself not wandering out into the open air, but instead, you find yourself in the middle of the open sea. There is there is a boat, a long, flat surface, and you are stepping out of the cabin of the boat. In the back of the boat, you see an old, very old man. The floor is bobbing up and down gently, and someone is at the stern of a small fishing vessel with a line leading off into the water. They're sitting in an old, faded beach chair with a cigarette tray on one side and a soggy soda cup on the other.
The Fisher King on his throne.
Something like that.
I say that out loud.
Rio responds with that.
I'll admit I didn't expect. So is this Corbin that's in the chair, or?
From what you can tell, yes. Yes, it is.
Well, I didn't think we'd been up on the high seas, but there's been a lot going on that I haven't expected yet. So, permission to come aboard, I guess, and I'll walk through the door.
Do any of you follow?
Yeah, I'm making sure that Lexi's coming with her whole
Oh yeah.
everything she has going on right now.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's gonna be very much one of those like, yes, I'm following and also making sure that you're right here with me.
Lexi's gonna look back at Ami and kind of quirk an eyebrow.
Yeah, she'll follow.
Give me 1 second, please. This book never seems to have the information you want where you want it.
So, you could say that right now we're on a
Got the-
boat. Anybody bring their flippy floppies? What's the dolphin situation proper?
The dolphin situation?
Yeah. They doing flips and shit?
No, there's no dolphins. Just like it was when you entered the Grail Castle, or Corbin Tower, as it is. It is one of those days that is unbearably hot. It is humid, and yet it refuses to rain. And it's one of those days where you know as soon as it does rain, it's going to be miserable. But the rain, for once in this godforsaken city, has held out, and you are on the open water with a hot, humid breeze brushing past you, and Corbin Payne fishing off the end of his boat. He hasn't said anything yet, but you can tell just from his posture that he is the most relaxed you've ever seen him. All four of you winding up on this boat.
Yeah, I think so.
The door leans open, and you can still see the inside of the apartment building, or the tower from this side of the door. But as soon as the four of you venture onto the boat, he finally speaks up. So you'll finally come for me at last. What is it you think you can do? Kill me?
I think there's been enough death that if we can avoid it, that'd probably be the best.
From what we can tell, killing you wouldn't actually work, now would it?
He reaches a hand down and grabs that soggy soda cup and lifts it up and looks at it in a kind of funny way and chuckles. No, I don't think it would.
Or can I vibe check the soggy soda cup?
Sure. What do you want to do?
I don't know, look beyond the mists at it.
Sure. Feel free to roll for
See
me.
if I were picking it up, an old guy would be like, "You have chosen wisely," from off in the distance. Okay. Never mind.
What'd you roll?
A 5.
Womp womp.
Womp womp indeed.
I want to check one thing for...
This is where we find out that everything you try to do to Corbin Payne gets reflected. Try to vibe check him, he vibe checks you.
I mean, he does, basically. What is your secret pain at, Celine?
I believe I am healed as of last episode.
Okay, good to know.
Let's see here. Yes, I have status of healed. Because I killed my grandma.
You,
Turns out we were the baddies, but I
so-
sorted it.
well, you still, even if you are healed, you still have, fears. Because you rolled a 5, it's a hard move, and so I'm going to say that as you try to part the mist to see this avatar, you are filled with a crippling amount of shame for that fact that you killed your own grandmother. It fills you head to toe in that moment as he chuckles at your comments, and it fills you with shame. It is a tier 5 shame. You can face danger if you'd like, but it's gonna start there until you're able to push it aside. It'll stay with you. What does it feel like, Celine, to think you have bested your grandmother, have done the right thing, that you are no longer the bad guy, but still feel that raking guilt that maybe you are? How does Celine respond?
I mean, mechanically with a tier 5, I want to say, honestly, it feels almost familiar in a way. And it's very much like a take it and push it down sort of like reaction where it's just she's been kind of living with it so long that it's almost second nature now. Having this feeling, it's like, no, push it down, just swallow it. Kind of.
I will say,
reaction to it.
as it is tier 5, it almost completely consumes you this, and you before you even realize that you are down on your knees. Anyone else?
I think Lexi looks over at Ami and is like, can you see where the grail is? I can get to it if you can tell me where it is.
I can try.
GM, the face danger was an 11. Sorry.
Excellent. On an 11 of face danger, you fend off the effect. Yeah.
And that conversation, by the way, is happening whispered at the back. It's as that confrontation is going on.
That's fine. You push that pain as far as you can deep into you, and because you have a fully healed status, I'll say that by facing danger, it goes away. And you're able to face it like a normal, like someone who's been fully healed. Ami, you were going to do something?
Yeah, I'll look beyond the mist to attempt to locate the grail.
Sure thing.
As you do that, the kind of spirit of Grendel's mother takes on that more monstrous form that I think I've talked about, where it's almost like a bloodhound, and is going to help you like root that out, because I have a help point on.
Hey, Ami, what is your healed status?
Don't ask that question.
I don't have a healed status. We never talked about my healed status.
Okay, you are wounded 4, so that means you have healed 2. They're just, like, inversely proportional. But you still have a wounded 4. Good to know. You were rolling just see beyond the mist, Ami?
Mm-hmm.
And you are helping out with a +1 Lexi. What was the roll?
About to come through, I think.
Is that investigate?
Yes, plus the number of theme cards Mythos theme cards you have. What was it?
A 13.
Lovely. I'll go so far as to say that you picked up in your research somewhere that the Grail is actually unknown of what it should look like. No one really knows what it's supposed to look like. It could be a cup. It could be a vessel of any kind. In all of your research into the cult, they believed it to be a vessel of oneself. And so you look at that soggy-ass soda cup and know without a doubt that that is the Grail. The mist has changed its form, but that is in fact the Holy Grail.
I will make sure that Lexi knows that.
Okay, Lexi, what do you do?
So it looks like, I think what that looks like is we just like have a moment of you just like eye the soda can, and I'm like, all right, what do I do?
Ami, you hear Payne shift the soda cup from one hand to the other and turns to face you. You want it?
No. Not particularly.
He will force himself to get up out of the chair, and he grabs a a walking stick that's there in the nestled into the chair, and he very slowly shuffles himself out towards you, Omni, specifically. Come. And as he does, the vessel shifts, and it looks exactly what you expect the Holy Grail to look like. It is a golden chalice, and it glistens in the sunlight as the sun is setting in the distance, and he hands it towards you.
Are there any, like, micro expressions or movements that you make, Ami?
No, she would probably just reach for it if he's handing it to her.
Because my instinct is to put myself in between you and that thing, knowing what he tried to do to you.
That's up to you.
I think I will do that.
It sounds like you would like to go toe-to-toe. You are trying to use your abilities.
I think actually what this would look like is sneaking around. I think that Lexi has walked into this scene in that half-faded state where she's more invisible to him than to the other people around her. So she just wants to put herself in between so that when that grail gets offered, it's offered to her instead.
I'm still going to ask you to go toe-to-toe because you're not
Okay.
trying to do this technically secretly.
Okay.
You're
Hey,
trying
it's wet out on the ocean, right?
It very much is.
Sick. I'm going ham with these, so feel free to invoke my weaknesses.
What weaknesses have we not used in literally ages?
I mean,
Let's
you know,
see.
I got all sorts of things.
Let's look at your weaknesses. Yeah, I'll invoke your hunger for bloodshed. Why not?
Okay.
The more you stand with this man, the more you think about the awful atrocities he has done. And somewhere in your monstrous nature, you want to rip him to shreds.
That's an 11.
Excellent.
Oh my god, you turd. Hush. So sorry.
Just ruining my finale. I see how it is. It's fine.
I can't lock her out either, because then the room's just gonna be boiling hot all the time.
You shift your way in and get between Ami and Corbin Payne. Do you attempt to take the Grail?
Take is probably the wrong word, right? He's offering the grail to somebody, and I'm more or less just going to accept it.
Okay. So you accept the Grail on behalf of Ami, much to his chagrin. And what do you do with this golden Grail? You can see he looks at you with a bit of surprise as you've stepped in and ruined his plans, but he still seems a little hopeful in a way that surprises you.
I think what Lexi does is she's going to, internally she's going to look into the grail, try to see past what she sees, look through the mist at this thing and try to understand it. She's asking the same question that she's been asking all episode. What is the Holy Grail, and who does the Grail serve?
Okay. You have healed 6, correct?
Yeah.
You look into the Grail and realize, as it tries its best to reflect on you, your deepest, darkest fears, that it can find none. And there is a moment where you look into the Grail and see nothing. Before the area around you starts to glow, you know in that instant before you ask it that it serves you, because you have activated the Grail. And your other question was?
Oh, what is the Holy Grail? And whom does it serve? So, we know the answer to the second.
And you already know the answer to the first, because the stories are true. The Grail is there to heal what can't be healed. It is there to bring back the dead, but also to bring back those who are so wounded that they cannot see the light. It only works for someone who understands what it means to be hurt and to live beyond it, to not be tied down to the pain that this world is filled with. And in the moment you look into the Holy Grail, it activates for you. As your friend in the library, Fadi Malik, told you, those who have control over the Grail can do what they want. It could awaken someone who is a sleeper. It could send us an awoken person back to sleep. It could heal a wound that's been festering for decades. And it could heal anyone in this room or on this boat that is still suffering with their pain.
I think the reflex that Lexi leans into is to heal the pain that Corbin has and to see where that leads him in the next few moments. But I think what this looks like is as she holds the Grail, it becomes kind of like an old mead tankard. And we see that kind of ghostly form around Lexi's hand. It's not just that it's behind her any longer, but it's also holding onto the Grail. And there's a crown over his head, and it's twisted thorns that are digging in. And the roots from the thorns extend beyond him, down through his feet into the ground. And as we pan out on the city, his roots are everywhere. And all she does is she puts her head to his brow with some of the water from the Grail, and she wipes it away.
You tell me, does he sleep or does he die? Where is he at peace?
I think without
There's a
the
third
power
option
of the...
if you want to, because either of those options means he, isn't there to witness what he has done. But where does Corbin Payne go when he no longer has the
I think my question to you is, without that pain, like, controlling him, is he going to make up for what he did? Or was it rooted so deep that, like, there's nothing but inflicting pain for him still?
I think what happens is that we see you wipe away the crown of thorns, and as you do, the thorns and the roots that descend into the sea and into the city also start withering away. And this is a man who should not be alive. This is a man who has faced death again and again and again and continued to live. And so if you wipe away his wounded status, if you wipe away his mythos, then he falls to his knees, and you can tell that he is at the brink of death. He may have a few moments left with you, but he is unlikely to survive.
And Lexi's going to turn and walk away from him, but, like, look over to John and say, "You're the one for confessions, not me."
Is this going to take hold? He's still within proximity of the cup. Doesn't that mean he's going to come back?
It's in Lexi's hands, like, visibly.
Okay. And John will kind of kneel next to him. So, what do you have to say for yourself? Because I don't think you've got long.
I know I don't. I know that what I've done is wrong. I spent years knowing that this city was nothing. That the city was lost. That there was no purpose, no reason. The only thing I could do to relieve that pain from myself was to inflict it upon others. I can tell that Lexi wishes me to suffer the pain that I inflicted on many others, and I should.
But haven't you been doing that this whole time? The pain that you've been inflicting has just been recursive. It's been coming back to you.
I guess so. You know, I wanted to die for many, many years.
Yeah, I know what that's like.
Very few things kept me alive. Beyond the Grail, of course. It was its own suffering.
So,
I lost Vivian, and I lost my daughter. I lost the city, and I lost my humanity.
you've just been inflicting this pain upon yourself over and over every time that you've inflicted on somebody else. Maybe it's time to ask for, instead of more pain, ask for forgiveness.
I don't know if I can.
Well, you've got someone here that can help you along the way as you move forward, and I'm kind of in the forgiveness business. Comes with the uniform.
What does this confession look like for the two of you?
Who knows, maybe it's time for a couple angry motherfuckers who should have died many years ago to finally get a little rest. And I think John pulls out the vial. He's got this crystal vial that has a big cross on it. And we do a quick flashback as Lexi has gotten into the alchemist's hideout underneath the mansion and has managed to get away with a bit of grail water that from behind one of the shelves, Father John looks as she goes by and leaves, having not been noticed. And he kneels down to the aqua Regis. He puts on a large white glove and he dips a crystal vial in it, perhaps in the same spot where the alchemist was submerged before they disappeared, rather. He pulls it out and he stops it. And we cut back to the vial of holy water. Perhaps it's time to ask for forgiveness and finally rest. And absolve yourself of the sins of the past.
And
Uncorks it and starts to dribble it on his head, on his forehead.
you were saying?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, in that moment, as he comes in contact with Archregis, the Grail water cannot affect him, and so you see his power drain substantially. He loses any connection with the rift of the Fisher King, and you can see that he is moments away from falling asleep to disappearing and becoming an ordinary citizen who knows nothing of what he did. Celine or Omni, do you have anything you want to add to these last moments?
He appears to have now become just a normal citizen, completely not a rift.
I mean, you know plenty of sleepers who are the kind of people that are controlled by the mist, that can't see past it, and so they are the ones who are convinced that there's nothing weird about the city at all.
Does he seem confused about where he is right now? Like, as in, like, where am like, who am
I'll
I?
say
What
that
time?
he will have a moment of clarity before he forgets.
Oh no, I'm looking for the after. Like, I want to.
Okay. Anything before that happens? Okay. Celine, as you watch John do this forgiveness ceremony that he is doing with Corbin Payne, this old man falls finally to the ground and is confused. He's not sure where he is or why he's here on a boat or who any of you are. And he says something along the lines of, "Oh, I must have fallen. Please excuse me." And looks up at you, Celine.
Yeah, I will, of course, excuse him. And if he asks who he is, oh, you don't remember. And I will tell him that he is our friend and a very valued member of the community in our city. He does a lot of outreach and help and grows the community and the safety there. And people look up to him. And just, I'm going to try and, if he's a blank slate, I'm going to try and tell him his like I'm gonna try and fill that blank slate with like
What I'll
what
say,
he could be. Does that make
Luca,
sense?
what I'll say is that before he became the Rift of Fisher King, he was a man who would give to charity. He was a man who loved at one point, and as you tell him these stories, he believes it because there's a glimmer of the truth in there. He may
Okay.
have had a long life after that he was miserable, but there was a long life before that where he was happy.
That's what I'm gonna do, and like I will absolutely do the look around thing if people want to jump in like with their own contributions of other stuff. But that's what I'll do, and I'll like give him a hand and help him up and see about like getting him home.
Uh,
Notably, Lexi is looking away, and as you escort him out, there's a close-up of her white-knuckling Labris.
I think that's an excellent point to fade. I would love to know what the four of you do once you return to shore. I will say that you return Corbin Payne to society, and he winds up in the hospital very shortly afterward and passes very quickly afterward as well. The last things he remembers is you telling him about how he used to be a lovely, upstanding citizen. But he is not long for this world because he should have died many, many years ago.
If we're doing like
We're doing the not quite after the credits, but the like where what happens immediately after this. Do the four of you stay together, or do you separate? Do you drift apart?
I would look around and suggest we go to the mirror.
Okay.
I think the shot in the mirror is all of us sitting at one of the tables, and there is a wooden flagon sitting in the middle, and we're all kind of staring at it.
I would love if over time it becomes on the bar of like old bottles and stuff in the mirror that like in random decor and stuff it becomes very dusty, kind of forgotten about cup that's just sitting there as if it's something she got while traveling or something. It's now just collecting dust up on the shelves in front of the mirror at the mirror.
As the master
Unless y'all were
of
planning
I'll say, as the master of the Grail at this moment, I'll say, unless you want to get rid of it in some way, Lexi, you'll have final say what happens to that.
I would like to hear other people's reaction to the Grail before I do anything.
Sounds good to me. Ami, what are you doing after this? After all the dust is settled, where does Ami go after this?
She'd probably head back to the mirror with everybody.
I mean, long term.
Oh, I mean, long term, she would probably head to college, do something with herself, get into art,
Okay.
try to pretend like this didn't happen.
Do you end up spending time with the others, or not really?
Yeah, she wouldn't necessarily be adverse to that. I don't think that attitude would ever change in her. Where if they ever needed her, she would be there, but knowing that it's most likely to help them restart the Wi-Fi.
There is like every big holiday that comes around, there is an explicit invitation from Lexi to like hang out, eat food, be merry, and beyond that, just like general check-ins. So it's not just the.
Also a
I promise
wedding
it's not
plan.
just the Wi-Fi.
Celine, beyond the Grail, what does Celine do after this in the long term?
I continue to build up the empire of Caliburn in the right way. A lot of philanthropy, a lot of rebuilding the city, a lot of outreach to all the neighbors that were poorly affected by decisions of my grandmother and others in power. Trying to just build up the heart of the city again. But also, I'm going to be planning a wedding.
I was going to say, what ends up happening between the two of you?
I mean, in my mind, I'm still planning the wedding, right?
Yeah. I don't think that's changed.
Okay. Yeah.
So beyond the
everyone's invited.
saving the world bit, the two of you, your relationship flourishes, and you. I like this. Anything else? Lexi, feel free to chime in on that bit if you like.
No, I think there's the point at which probably Lexi, because she's living in like a funky little apartment nearby the mirror, moves in with Celine as they're planning that wedding.
Officially, I mean, you've taken over half the closet already.
Hey.
And before we get back to you, John, what do you think you do? Do you end up in the church, or do you move on?
Honestly, I think John was expecting to not make it this far. Maybe kind of hoping as well in the back of his mind. But I think he stays with the church a little bit before he actually...
Before you say that, I'm going to ask you. You have the opportunity to go back to sleep and potentially die for real someday. Do you take that opportunity?
I was going to discuss that when we go back to the Grail.
Okay. Because you have, I was saying, you have the Aqua Regis if you wanted to use that. So the Grail as well could also help you with that if you wanted to. But let's go back to you. What happens with the Grail?
Lexi doesn't want the Grail to fall into the hands of people who would try to use it. And I don't think that she wants to live with the temptation of knowing that she has it. So late one night, she walks out to the docks and kind of asks the Grail to do something. And a storm starts, and it starts raining everywhere in the city. And it's rain that lasts like a week, off and on, hard and soft. It's a miserable, blustery fall. And afterwards, there is a rainbow. And Lexi has this cup that she doesn't remember how she got it. And nobody remembers how she got it, even the people who she got it with. And what she asked of it was for the Grail to let everyone know the ways in which they're pained, show them how to start on fixing it, and then make everyone, including like the Grail itself, forget that it ever existed. How much of that worked, who's to say? And how far-reaching that was, don't know. But like Luca said, it's sitting on a shelf at the back of the mirror and mostly goes unnoticed.
Could I adjust that just slightly?
Sure.
I'll say that The world forgets about the Grail, but the four of you do not forget about what happened.
Not what happened. Like, we remember Corbin Payne, we remember what we went through. But how exactly it ended, that's what I think would be fuzzy.
You experience something that you haven't experienced in quite a long time. You experience the mist. As soon as the rain stops, the mist descends on the city, and it scrubs out little sections of your time with Corbin Payne. You, Lexi, forget all you want, and the other three, I'll let them decide off air what they remember or not. But with Corbin Payne gone, the city can start to heal, as you said. So, unless you have any last comments, John.
So was Lexi's... Was the thought just to make everyone forget, or was it just to send everyone back to sleep?
Not to sleep. No.
Not
Okay.
to sleep.
I'm gonna say that
She has things to attend to in the background, like whoever it was tried to get her involved as some kind of governmental spook. But yeah, she doesn't want to remember that the Grail exists, and she hopes she scrubs its existence from the memories of whoever set her to get it for them, or to loose it from its master.
Interesting. Unless anyone wants to say anything else, we're going to do our outros and just call it a night.
I think I'm good leaving.
Luca, take it away. You can say anything else you want to say about your character, tell us about what you're doing, and where we can find you.
Celine is very content and planning a wedding. I'm Luke Locke, and I played Celine Caliburn, Excalibur, and then also, later on, Queen of the Round Table. And you can find me everywhere as Luke Locke. Twitter, Twitch, everywhere. You can also find me over at the Mad Cartographer, making things over there. And then tomorrow back here for Fragments, our weekly Demiplanes of Dread campaign, in which I play a rabbit. Yeah, that's it for me.
Thank you very much for joining me, Luca. Chrissy, you're next.
Hey guys, I'm Chrissy Kritz. I played Ami Ortelia. She was the Rift of Mercury. And then for a hot minute, had the spear that killed Jesus, I think. I'm not sure. I don't remember the lore
You
particularly.
had Evil Girl Summer, yeah.
Yeah. She went through a phase. Where can you find me? Tomorrow evening I will be back here during the Luke. I will be in the evening at Oathsworn, and then again on Thursday for Queen's Gambit. And I believe we will have a new player coming to join us this Thursday. So that's where you'll find me.
Thank you very much for being part of this, Chrissy. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Vermin, you're next.
What's up, everybody? I am Legendary Vermin. You can find me as Legendary Vermin on all the places on the internet that matter. That is, of course, Itch, Twitch, Twitter, and I suppose YouTube. I have a website where I document all of my upcoming streams. It's legendaryvermin.com/live. The next thing I have coming up is on Wednesday over on Neon Lights Roleplay. We're doing the second episode of With the Will, which is a Digimon-themed campaign. It's super duper fun, very cute. If you have had enough of intense stories, we're doing light YA, and it's a lovely change of pace. Of course, if that's not your thing, come back here on July the 6th. That is a Wednesday as well, where you can see the grand finale of the Hubris of Man, an alien RPG extravaganza. hosted by the ever spectacular Meg Mysteria. We are surrounded on a beach. It'll be a good time seeing what comes of that. A little bit later in the month, I'm returning with Frozen Rain, which is a Lancer campaign over on Neon Lights Roleplay. That will be Saturday, July 26th. Or, sorry, not 26th, Saturday, July 16th. And also keep an eye out on Neon Lights for a game that I am going to start game mastering called The World Within You, which will be a Void Heart Symphony game. Besides that, please check out my itch. Check out my games. If you like what I do here, you'll like what I do in other mediums, I'm sure.
Vermin, I was very glad to have you in my campaign, so excellent job. And last but not least, we have Father John, or Ikaj.
So the last thing that was done with the grill was to make everyone kind of forget about it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just the
So I
fact
think-
the rail exists, none of the leading up
Yeah.
to bits.
So I think in the coming months, as we get together, as we sit around the mirror talking about weddings and events and things that happen, Father John occasionally will bring up, oh, that's an interesting cup up there. Do you remember where we got it?
And Lexi will look over at Celine when you say that. I think it was when we were on a trip back in high school.
Adventure we took.
It's really old.
Yeah, it looks like it. And then months go on without mentioning it, and John says, kind of keeps looking at it. And then months later, we see John with a suitcase in a long, dark coat with a black brimmed hat as he comes to say his goodbyes to everyone as he leaves. And he says, Lexi, you should probably go get that special bottle. I think, not the one, not the one that was as special as the one that you used at your wedding, but the other one. It's a drink that everyone needs to take. The one that you keep in the back. And when people aren't looking, there's a very slight change to a mug that almost nobody else remembered or paid attention to. A cup that perhaps almost everyone forgot about. A cup that now on the bottom reads in tiny lettering carved into it, "Made in China." And a final drink is had. Farewells are said. And John is walking down to the train station, passing lights. And he reaches into his coat. And he pulls out a wooden mead bug that he blinks and turns into a soggy soda cup. That he shakes his head. It turns into a jeweled goblet. He looks at it and goes, nah. And he shakes it again, and it turns into a carved wooden goblet from a movie that he remembers enjoying watching with Ami. One of his favorite Harrison Ford movies. And he looks at it and goes, yeah. I've chosen wisely. And he opens up his bag and he puts it in. And he kind of walks into the distance towards a train station as the mist kind of covers up the last traces as he fades in.
Now tell us about you.
This actually has been amazing. I've enjoyed it immensely. I'm sad to see it being done. And actually, this is one of the last things I'm doing for a bit. Some things got changed in the schedule, so I'm not assigned to anything coming up in the future, but that doesn't mean you won't see me
Don't
popping up
worry,
anytime
I'll
soon.
Find a way to include you in something somehow.
Well, as I say, you can usually find me around the Discord, and occasionally I'll sneak my way into other shows. But you can find me as Ekash York on the Discord channel. Join and you can see me posting funny pages and comics and memes to my heart's delight. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok occasionally, although I haven't touched it in a while, as Ekash the Orc. And I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Vikaj. You've always been lovely, and I'm glad you got a chance to play with us. My name is Proper Nerdy. I'm a TPK staff member, roleplayer, game master, sometimes game designer. You can find me as Proper Nerdy on all of the lovely social media sites. Check out my games Generational and Cataclysmal on Itch, and on StorySynth as well. I had the absolute pleasure of being your GM for this game. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. I have one last very important question for all of you. Whose board is it? Whose corkboard?
Oh.
On that note, we fade to the very last scene after the credits, and we see a door open. A big dark blue door leads into a cluttered hallway covered with photos and various memorabilia, weird knickknacks, and all kinds of strange technology. We see a woman behind a desk with short cropped dark hair and an umbrella in the umbrella stand. And we're not sure who is entering this scene, but from one of the side hallways, a man with white hair and a slicked back ponytail enters the scene and addresses us. You're late. And with that, the scene fades to black. Have a lovely evening all. This has been Madness Calls It Forth.